They just won $1 million, then told you that you don't belong in the sport. What do? That is exactly the situation Chase Briscoe found himself in after the 2026 NASCAR All-Star Race at Dover Motor Speedway. And by the time Monday morning rolled around, nobody was really talking about the win itself. They were talking about what allegedly happened right after the checkered flag dropped. A moment between two Joe Gibbs Racing teammates that has split the NASCAR community right down the middle. Dover Motor Speedway handed out a $1 million prize on May 17, 2026. And the man who took it home was Denny Hamlin. But before we get to that post-race flashpoint, you have to understand what kind of race this was. Because the chaos of Sunday afternoon at the Monster Mile is the entire foundation of this story. This was the first ever NASCAR All-Star Race held at Dover Motor Speedway, a move from North Wilkesboro, where the event had taken place the past 2 seasons. The Monster Mile made absolutely sure nobody walked away calling it boring. The race came with a brand new format. All 36 cars broken into 3 segments, 75 laps, then 75 laps, then a 200-lap finale for the $1 million prize. After segment 1, the top 26 were inverted, meaning the winner restarted dead last and the 26th place finisher inherited pole position. Dover was also debuting a new increased horsepower, reduced downforce package, which made the racing sharper and more physical than Dover had seen in years. Combined with light resin applied across the track surface, this place was a powder keg from the very first lap. Denny Hamlin started from pole position after recovering from a spin during his qualifying lap. He looped his number 11 Toyota on the warm-up lap but still posted a 2-lap time of 1 minute 49.298 seconds to claim the top starting spot. His second All-Star Race pole, the first coming back in 2015 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, where he also won. On lap 2, before most fans had even fully settled into their seats, the race exploded. Ryan Preece came down the banking entering turn 1 and made contact with Todd Gilliland's number 34. That contact triggered a 9-car pileup that reached out and grabbed some of the biggest names. Kyle Larson, a 3-time All-Star Race winner, hit the wall in his number 5 Chevrolet. Ryan Blaney suffered heavy front-end damage. Chase Elliott, voted 8 consecutive times as NASCAR's most popular driver, was collected as well. Daniel Suarez, Michael McDowell, John Hunter Nemechek, and Cole Custer were also caught up in the mess. The worst of it belonged to Preece. His number 60 made a heavy impact with the outside wall, and the rear of the car erupted in flames. Preece climbed out unscathed and was quickly seen and released from the track's infield care center. Afterward, he put it plainly, "I don't know what happened, but if it was anything, it was probably just too close on my part to go into turn 1 and just got sideways. So if it was my fault, I'm sorry." After a lengthy red flag cleanup, Brad Keselowski led the restart but gave up the point to Hamlin, who quickly built a 3.5-second lead in just 13 laps. Then, with just 3 laps to go, in segment 1 another massive crash claimed several more contenders down the front stretch. Riley Herbst got loose exiting turn 4 and received contact from Alex Bowman, causing a stack-up that claimed Elliott, Nemechek, Zane Smith, Christopher Bell, Chris Buescher, Kyle Busch, Noah Gragson, and others. 9 cars involved. Again. The segment ended under yellow, with Bubba Wallace taking the honors. Hamlin finished 2nd, Ross Chastain 3rd, Chase Briscoe 4th. Segment 2 didn't slow down. On lap 6, Chastain and Keselowski made contact exiting turn 2. Wallace also took damage, and Chastain's number 1 Busch Light Chevrolet ended up with the front clip destroyed and was retired from the event entirely. Keselowski backed his battered number 6 Ford down pit road on 4 flat tires, all he could do given the state of the car. As Keselowski put it afterward, "We have 4 flat tires. That's the only way the car will move." Tyler Reddick, already the most dominant driver through the 2026 regular season, sailed past AJ Allmendinger on lap 25 and took control. He went on to win segment 2 over Briscoe, Hamlin, Carson Hocevar, and Connor Zilisch. Meanwhile, Ty Gibbs suffered a tire failure while running 6th on lap 126, sending his number 54 Toyota into the wall and effectively ending his day in the money. Then came the brutal reality for Chase Elliott and Ross Chastain. 2 of the most popular and decorated drivers in the field had accumulated so much damage from the earlier incidents that their cars could not be repaired in time. Backups were not allowed. Both drivers were eliminated from the 200-lap finale without ever getting a fair shot. Elliott reflected on the chaos simply, "It was pretty wild. I hate to get caught up in that. I knew better. I saw it getting crazy. I should have bailed." 6 cars remained for the money round, among them Larson, Blaney, Keselowski, Busch, Bell, and Wallace, whose cars were heavily damaged and significantly slower than the rest of the field. This is where the race became something worth remembering, and where Chase Briscoe's story takes on a completely different weight. Chase Briscoe had not had an easy week heading into Dover. During Saturday's practice, he slammed the wall hard enough that his team had to essentially rebuild the entire car overnight. On top of that, Briscoe had been battling a stomach bug for 2 to 3 days leading into the race. He didn't know how the day was going to go physically, and yet, when the 200-lap finale started, Briscoe was immediately among the fastest cars on the track. After Hamlin led the opening lap, Briscoe moved to the front and led the next 39 consecutive laps. Hamlin then led in 3 separate stints. Then Briscoe took it back and led another 22 laps. These two teammates, the number 11 and the number 19, combined to lead all but 36 laps of the entire 200-lap segment. But Briscoe kept running into the same wall. Every time he grabbed the lead, his rear grip would fade. He explained it clearly after the race, "I just didn't have the rear grip. Any time that I was not the leader, I would be really, really good. And as soon as I would take the lead, I would go into the next corner. I'm like, man, I'm way too loose." He tried backing up to Hamlin deliberately, trying not to burn his right rear tire too aggressively. But around lap 30 of each long run, the car would start getting loose. The problem, as Briscoe diagnosed it, was that his team had been forced to start segments 1 and 2 from 16th and 2020 due to the inversion. They never had a chance to set the car up for clean air running at the front. When the finale finally put him there for extended stretches, the car simply wasn't optimized. He also acknowledged the pit road factor. Bubba Wallace's pit entry had some effect on his line, but that Denny Hamlin largely had him in that moment anyway. On lap 171, with 29 laps remaining, Hamlin seized the lead for the final time. He never gave it back. The final margin was 0.887 seconds over Briscoe. Eric Jones came home third in his number 43 Legacy Motor Club Toyota, his best finish of the season. Austin Dillon was fourth, and rookie Connor Zilisch, who had received a pit road penalty near the midpoint, rallied steadily to take fifth place, also his best finish of the year, in the number 88 Trackhouse Racing Chevrolet. Hamlin led a race-high 103 laps in the final segment alone. In his post-race interview, Hamlin credited his equipment directly. "It makes it a lot easier when you've got a car this fast. We strive to be number one, and we did it today. I just knew that the game changer for us was long runs, and obviously the ability to pass when we're behind someone." Hamlin's win was his third consecutive at Dover, adding to points wins in 2024 and 2025. It was his second career All-Star Race victory, making him the third driver in NASCAR history to win the event at multiple tracks. At 45 years old, he became the second oldest All-Star Race winner ever, behind only Mark Martin, who won at age 46 in 2005. And then came what everyone is still talking about. After the checkered flag, Chase Briscoe walked over toward Denny Hamlin to offer his congratulations. That's standard between teammates after a hard-fought race. Normal stuff. Except, according to Briscoe, what came back was anything but normal. Briscoe told reporters outside the number 19 hauler that Hamlin's response was to tell him he was still not Cup Series level, and Briscoe did not mince words about how he received it. He called the comment classless. Not emotional, not the heat of the moment, not competitive trash talk between racers. Classless. You could hear in his tone that this wasn't frustration talking. This was a driver who felt genuinely disrespected after proving himself all weekend. Think about the full picture. Briscoe crashed in practice on Saturday. His team rebuilt the entire car overnight. He battled a stomach bug for nearly 3 days. He led 61 laps in the money round against one of the best short track and concrete track drivers this sport has seen in the modern era. He finished 0.887 seconds behind a driver who openly admitted his car was significantly faster. And when he walked over to shake his teammate's hand, the response he allegedly received was a suggestion that he doesn't belong at this level. Hamlin, for his part, did not directly deny the comment when reporters pressed him. He deflected, saying emotions run high after races and that they raced hard all night. That non-denial became fuel on the fire online, and fans divided sharply. NASCAR insiders Jeff Gluck and Jordan B. Athletic weighed in on exactly this point. As noted, Briscoe was emphatic in his assessment post-race. If Hamlin had not been his teammate, the approach would have been completely different. Briscoe said he raced at roughly 50% of what he was capable of, holding back from making a move that might have wrecked both. As Gluck put it, he said if it wasn't a teammate, he would have opened up his hands more and it would have been dirty. He could have won that way. Bianchi backed Briscoe's decision entirely. Chase is right. You're kind of the new guy at JGR. You don't want to upset the apple cart. Some defended Hamlin immediately. The argument on his side is straightforward. This is who Denny Hamlin has always been. Ultra-competitive, psychologically aggressive inside the garage. The kind of driver who has never been shy about controlling pecking order. To his supporters, this is just old-school NASCAR mentality from a veteran in territory. But a significant portion of fans viewed it differently. Briscoe is the new driver at Joe Gibbs Racing, a first-year JGR driver still building his credibility inside one of NASCAR's premier organizations. He raced his teammate cleanly and respectfully, even at the cost of his own chance to win. The question now hanging over Joe Gibbs Racing is a real one. JGR has been under pressure all year as younger drivers push to establish themselves while veterans like Hamlin command the spotlight. This moment did not happen in a vacuum. There is a genuine power dynamic at play inside that organization, and Sunday's events put it directly under the spotlight. Briscoe enters the next points-paying contest at Charlotte Motor Speedway on a streak worth expanding. He sits 17th in Cup Series points but is already locked into the playoff. The number 19 JGR team has posted strong finishes in back-to-back weeks. The speed is clearly there. As Briscoe himself put it, this is what we should be doing week in and week out. We've just executed executed the last 2 weeks, so our speed is clearly there. It's just a matter of putting that speed to use and capitalizing on it. The question for the rest of the season, do these two channel this into competition that makes both of them better, or does it slowly build into something that defines the back half of JGR's 2026 in the worst possible way? Before this story closes, there is one moment from Dover that carries real human weight, separate from all the controversy. When Denny Hamlin was asked what he planned to do with the $1 million prize, he didn't hesitate, probably give it to Mama. In December, a fire destroyed his parents' home. His father, Dennis Hamlin, who had already been dealing with health complications before the fire, passed away shortly after. Hamlin has been dedicating his entire 2026 season to his father's memory. Using a portion of his All-Star winnings to help his mother furnish her new home is exactly the kind of detail that reminds everyone that behind the controversy and the competitiveness, there are real human beings carrying real weight through every single week of this season. It wouldn't be complete without noting the broader conversation that came out of Dover. The race format drew mixed reviews from nearly everyone involved. Briscoe himself put it most directly: all-star races typically are like the shortest race of a year. 600 or something. It took forever. Even Hamlin, after winning $1 million, suggested NASCAR needs to rethink the structure, starting with returning Dover to its rightful place as a points race. When asked where the All-Star race should go next, Hamlin was clear. First thing is, let's give Dover their points race back, and then let's figure out where we're going to go, and then figure out the format. Let's start there. Fox Sports' final NASCAR broadcast of 2026 also drew heavy criticism from fans on social media. Complaints centered on excessive commercial breaks, incorrect driver calls, and commentary that struggled to keep pace with the action. Going forward, Prime Video takes over with the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte on May 24th, beginning a stretch of 5 consecutive races on the streaming platform. And quietly, amid all the chaos, 19-year-old Connor Zylish delivered a performance worth highlighting. 5th place, his best finish in the Cup Series, rallying back from a pit road penalty to run inside the top 5 when it mattered most. His day reminded everyone that the next generation is coming. Ready or not, Charlotte is next. The stakes just got personal. Charlotte is next. And trust me, you don't want to miss what happens between these two. Subscribe so you don't miss it.